All right, this season we're going to do something a little bit different, something we haven't done in the past. We're going to take on multiple projects at the same time, and you know what that's going to cause? Get ready for some Texas drama. I'll make a bet with you. I will bet you money it settles.
Wrong.
You're gonna have to show me what you're talking about putting it in the back then, because I don't understand what you want to do.
Smile. You woke up in Texas.
I'm Jim Dutton, and I've been a contractor here in the great state of Texas for over 40 years.
It ain't a good day till we tear something up. Tools make the job.
To help as many people as I possibly could, I started a radio show over 20 years ago. Now to help even more people, I'm rolling up my sleeves and hitting the road.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, look how beautiful it is.
In Texas, most contractors don't have to have a license, so it's buyer beware.
And that's what you get when you hire a bootleg contractor.
You don't know what you're talking about. I've been building homes for over...
Yeah, and I've been fixing homes for over 40 years because of people like you. It doesn't work in Texas. This is Texas Home Improvement.
Previously on Texas Home Improvement.
Really, I'm actually thinking take this wall out to make the living room in here kind of more of a uniform space.
The open concept.
Yeah.
We're at the lake house today. We're putting in a seawall, and that's how much the ground has been eroded away by the lake. When are you coming out?
I have an issue. I won't be coming out.
What kind of issue are we talking about?
Well, I was over at Adam's house waiting on Rodney, the electrician. So while I was waiting, I thought I'd make use of my time and start pulling some more of those rocks off the fireplace. And I dropped a big one on my foot.
No, we're stuck.
Stuck on the project? What?
No, we're stuck in the lake.
Stuck in the lake? So we got all the mud off the bottom, so now we're gonna strap on some chains and start pulling this thing out. This was a heck of a distraction, but we gotta get back to work on the seawall, because time's ticking.
You know, I make no bones about it. I'm part of the Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo, one of the vice presidents out there, and I love going to the rodeos. Well, today we're going to set our booth up out at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and that's one of the big rodeos in Texas.
So Jim and I rarely get to work on projects together, but there's one thing you got to know when you're working with Jim. There's 3 ways to do the project: the right way, the wrong way, and Jim's way. You said those are 2x8, so I bought 2x8.
Well, I didn't measure the things.
You just looked at it, though. Okay.
Yeah, 3 days ahead of time.
No, you looked at it with me. Remember when I came over there?
It don't matter. Just grab a couple of those 2x4s out of the truck.
Better. It's not a higher step, and it's better. Okay. Let me go get that 2x.
Yeah, two of them.
Right, but once you screw that in, take those the 4x4s.
Yeah.
And see where the paint is missing.
Yeah, I got it.
They go up there. Okay.
Yep.
See how that has the black on the edge?
Yeah.
If you put that there, all the edging has black on it, and otherwise you're gonna have a big wood piece.
You're gonna have to show me what you're talking about putting it in the back then, because I don't understand what you want to do.
See that? Matches, this black matches right here.
Yeah.
So put that in the back, and so there'll be black.
What's the back to you?
That.
Oh, just slide it that way.
Slide it that way.
To me, that's the back. That's
Okay.
the reason I was getting confused. Okay. You know, my nephew Jack, he's kind of new to the construction industry, and had to teach him some of the finer points of using a hammer. Look, this black part is there for a reason. That's the handle.
That's where I grab it.
No, you're way up here.
Okay.
Hold it back here.
Give it a real man's hit?
Yes.
So normally when we do a project like this, we use a nail gun. In this case, we have to hand hammer all the nails because we have to take it apart at the end. We're all a little bit rusty, I must say, so we thought we'd have a little contest to see how many we can get in the right way.
Oh!
Don't bend that, I'm filming.
Dude,
I'm still 100% right now. Oh no! 2 in a row!
That's right, I was praying it wouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got the base in, got the walls in, now we're ready to put the floor down. Even though it's always a lot of work to set up for one of these shows, like the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, we had a lot of fun, got the job done, but now it's time to get back to work. I've been out to the lake project in quite some time, and obviously we've had some major issues out there. We're getting ready to start the backfill. I think I better make a trip out there and see what's going on. Well, Brian, you've been having all kinds of fun. I've been talking to you on the phone a lot about what's been going on, and unfortunately, I didn't get to come out and see you try to get that skid steer out of the water and everything, but it's backfill time. Now you're getting into my realm of something I do every single day of the week, and this signifies that you're coming to the end of the project.
Right.
So I see we got some dirt here. Skid steer's already running. What you got in mind here?
So I want you to come down and take a look at what I've done. We got the cables up, we got the dead man post in, everything, but I want you to take a look at it and tell me your honest feedback on the work that I've done. I know you've seen the videos and stuff, but there's another whole element of just seeing it done in person.
I'll take a look.
I know you're going to be honest. I know you're going to be honest.
It could be brutal.
I know. Well, hey, I want it done right.
Okay.
So let's take a look at it and tell me honestly what you think.
All right, today what's happening is we got dirt coming in, got a skid steer taking the dirt down to backfill behind the bulkhead. That's getting near the end of the project, and that's a critical part. One, you got to have the right type of dirt. You know, everybody thinks dirt's dirt. It's not. You got clay base, you got sand base, you got, depending on what you're doing, depends on what type of dirt you're going to use. So we're using kind of a bank sand, sandy loam with a little bit of clay in it here, and that bonds together to pack really well. And that's what we need behind that bulkhead, because over time, water's going to get into it. Water's going to come over the top of the bulkhead when the lake overfills at times. And so we got to have a material that's not just going to wash out with the water. It looks like what they're going to be doing is piling the dirt, pushing it in to backfill. The issue you're going to run into, though, is not being able to be compacted.
Right.
All the cables are in here already. Those get in the way, keeps you from being able to run any compaction equipment on top of it. So you got a couple of choices here. One would be loosen the cables up, run the skid steer and everything to be compacting the dirt as you're going. Second would be to bring in the dirt and be running a skid plate as you're going, which is nothing but a vibrating plate that packs the dirt. The third is put the dirt in, be piling it up, and understand that you're gonna have to pile it up, let Mother Nature take its course and settle the dirt, and you're gonna be regrading out here for the next probably 3 to 6 months. And I would recommend you do that regrading prior to putting grass on here.
How about this? Could we push the dirt out, get the skid plate, pack it down to minimize the
settlement. I mean, that's what you're dealing with, is a settlement.
For late February, I'd like to be planting grass in a couple months. Is that realistic?
Well, that was option 2. Get the skid plate going in there. Now, when you're using the skid plate, you're typically doing 6 to 8 inch lifts at a time. We got to get this dirt, or get this water out of the way first. But and that's really going to be a matter of putting dirt in there. The water will be moving out as the dirt's being filled in. Now, the nice thing about the water when the dirt gets wet, that is what settles it and packs it.
So what I need to do then is call the owner of the company that's backfilling this, get a skid plate out here ASAP. They're backfilling right now, so we gotta...
Well, they're not really backfilling. They're stockpiling dirt right
But
now,
that
so they
dirt's
got
gotta go
plenty
out
of
there at
time.
some point.
It does,
Okay.
and yes, we need to get a skid plate out here to start packing. Otherwise, like I said, you're gonna be fighting this for three to 6 months as it settles, and you'll have high spots, low spots, and you're gonna be constantly regrading, and that's the reason you couldn't put grass then.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get on the phone real quick, and we gotta address this.
Hello?
Hey, I'm looking at this backfill job you guys are doing, and I'm not real comfortable with the way that the dirt's going in. What do you guys plan on doing to pack this thing down?
So we were gonna pile the dirt up at the edge and then use the skid steer, push that dirt in, pack it that way.
Okay, so if we do that, I'm looking at probably months before this all settles down. I really need you guys to come in and pack it with a skid plate, pushing it down as we do it.
Okay, you know what? Give me a sec. I'm on another job right now.
Okay,
Give me about a few hours and I'll be down there.
okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
So today we're out here backfilling behind a bulkhead. But whether you're backfilling behind a bulkhead or you're backfilling or just raising your yard, really, when you're filling in with loose dirt like this, there is an art to making sure you don't have an issue. Now in the construction field, you always hear, we want 95 compaction rate. What does that mean? It's 95% of what original undisturbed soil would have been. That's the stuff God put in the ground that we haven't messed with yet. This is messed with. We're not going to get it back to 100%. But the trick is you don't try to do 12, 16, 18-inch lifts. Keep it 6 to 8 inches. Use a vibrating skid plate. Use rollers. Use anything that's heavy that can go over it to pack the dirt down. And what happens as you're going over it, that load kind of spreads out, and that's the reason you can only go 6 to 8 inches. If you try to go too far, the bottom portion never gets compacted. That's where you see settlement, and that's when it's got to be redone again. All right, Brian's guessing this is going to be 100 yards to fill this up. There ain't no way. That's wishful thinking. This is going to be at least 200 plus yards. And you know, with these trucks coming in, hauling at max 12 yards because of weight limits, it's going to take a little while. Well, we're about 4 hours into it now. Still waiting on the owner of the company that's backfilling to show up. We've got probably 6 truckloads out here so far, and it doesn't look like we've even made a dent. This is going to take a while, but the big thing, we still got to get them out here to start packing this stuff, because if we don't pack it, it's all for nothing. So a lot of times when people see retaining walls and bulkheads, and even along construction sites, they'll see this black fabric and don't really understand what it's for. Well, it's silt control. And if you notice, between the boards, you can see daylight through here. If you didn't have this fabric on, every time the water level got too high, sand would start sifting through, and that's where you start getting bulkheads that will end up with voids behind them. Now, a lot of times people want to drop concrete in there in order to seal it up. That doesn't work. The water just goes around the concrete. So if you've got an old bulkhead that's leaking and getting voids behind it, fill it with gravel, pea gravel or larger rock, 3/4 inch, 1 inch. What that does is it gives some place for the water to go, but it allows the water to leave again without washing the sand out, because the gravel is controlling the speed that the water's leaving versus just taking all the sand with it. But the fabric is a must if you're putting up any type of bulkhead or any place where you want to control the sand.
So the owner of the company that's doing the backfilling today couldn't make it out. He's still in Tyler on another job. So he sent one of his foremen, and let's just say there's 2 schools of thought going on right now.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a bet with you. I will bet you money it settles at least 12 inches.
A foot?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not gonna settle a foot.
So I'll make a bet with you on that. What would you like to bet?
I don't know, you tell me. It's not gonna settle a foot, not a foot, man.
All right, so often people think when you dump dirt, you're able to pack it by just running on the top of it, but you can see it'll settle quite a bit just stepping on it. Now, I'm not a skinny guy by any means, but I'm not weighing no 2.5 tons to be packing this either. So the purpose of the tracks on a piece of equipment like this is to actually spread the load out. And people always think, well, I'm using a dozer or I'm using a skid steer. That weight is so dispersed out, it's made to float on top of loose material so it doesn't sink deep down. And the way you can really tell that, a wheeled skid steer, something that's got tires on it instead of the tracks, it'd be buried in here. You wouldn't get it back out. But with the tracks, it just skims over the top. And so as the load goes down, the compaction spreads out. Much like when you look at a railroad track, the gravel is piled up at an angle because the load of the train going over it spreads out on that load. Packing this dirt is no different. You gotta start from the bottom and work your way up. All right, Brian, they're moving right along. They're getting it backfilled. I still believe it's gonna settle some.
Right.
But I gotta ask you a different question. How many times are you gonna have me out here? I mean, this is a gorgeous day. I still haven't fished out here on the lake. And I don't even remember how many times I've been out here yet.
I've been out a lot, and I'll admit it's all been work, no fishing. So there's only one way to fix that. Let's get some poles out and see what we get.
You got gear? Because I didn't bring any.
I got plenty of gear.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
Here's some stuff you need to know.
All right, so we're working on the bulkhead here, and you're gonna notice it's got these cables. And sometimes people don't really understand how important these cables are. They try to leave them off. Basically, this post that I'm sitting on goes down in the ground about 5-6 feet. It's a dead man. The cables come to the post and it anchors the bulkhead from chipping away. Because when you backfill all the soil behind that bulkhead, there's gonna be a lot of pressure pushing towards the lake on it. These cables catch it and hold it back. That's their sole purpose in life, is to hold this bulkhead nice and straight. So if you're getting ready to put a bulkhead in, make sure you add the cables. Keep that job stout. All right, so we've been doing a lot of work on Adam's house. We raised the ceiling, gutted the kitchen. Actually, we ended up taking all the furniture out of the whole house. But the part that's really gonna set this house apart is this window. Now, that's actually a decent sized window. It was put in wrong. There's not even a header up here. These 2x4s come straight down to paneling. There's no header of any kind up here. The studs on the sides don't go down to hold this window in place. All that's holding it is this 1x4, which is supposed to be the sill inside the window. It's not trimmed out at all. So we're gonna take this window out and we're gonna put this bad boy in that we ordered from America's Choice Windows. This is 60 inches tall, 105 inches wide. It's basically gonna take this room that we've already made larger by going up with the ceiling and bring the great outdoors into this room. So we're gonna leave the height of the window basically the same as this because it matches for the other windows, matches with the soffit boards outside, and it'll drop the window down to around this height. All right, now we've got it down to where we actually could take the window out, but with the temperatures outside today, we're gonna leave it in place while we rebuild the framework for the new window, then we'll take this out. Right now, the only thing that's holding this window in place, and basically looking at it from before, is the fact that it's caulked to the brick of the home. We need a bigger hammer. All right, so we've put our studs in and stuff. We haven't cut these off yet, but we went ahead and put it in so we can put our header because we do have a sag here that we're gonna have to deal with. We already cut our 2x10s for the header, and I ripped one piece of plywood. We're gonna sandwich plywood between the 2x10s to add strength for the sagging, because technically the two 2x10s on the sag charts are about 6 inches short. So in order to stiffen it up a little bit, we'll add the plywood in between. Now, a lot of times people just start at one end and then put a short piece on the other end of the 2x10 simply because the plywood's not long enough to reach all the way across. What I'd like to do is put the long piece in the middle, and I'll put two shorter pieces on each side. And the reason for that, the middle is what's gonna sag. So I want the stiffness in the middle. And believe it or not, the plywood, it adds a lot of stiffness. All right, so we got the boards put together, got the plywood in there. We have basically a 6.5 inch piece on each end with the 8-footer in the middle. Like I said, it really wouldn't make that big a deal. If you really want to stiffen it up, you can glue it as well as nail it. For the purposes we're doing here, we're just gonna nail it. But you do want to put quite a few nails in it. And you're gonna want to nail from both sides. All right, you can see we got it all framed in. Left the window in place because I'm not quite ready to set the window in yet because I gotta get a little more help to do that. Need some muscles I don't have. But you can see how much bigger this is gonna be. Here's your original window. The frame for the new window, that's gonna bring the outside in, yet they'll still be able to be comfortable in the house with the air conditioning.
Coming up on Texas Home Improvement.
So today we're going to start laying floors in the hall here because we've got carpet going to be installed into the bedrooms. So coming back for his second appearance here on Texas Home Improvement, we're going to have Jack laying floors today. Hey, got a question during the week? Go to our website, thipro.com, and click on the Ask Jim button. If you're looking for a great contractor, one that'll treat you fair and get the job done right, go to thipro.com and take a look at the contractors in your area that I've already checked out. Hey, got a question about your project? Join me on News Talk 820 WVAP every Saturday at 12 o'clock. You can call in, ask your question, and get your project going. Don't forget to listen to Texas Home Improvement every Saturday and Sunday right here in Houston on News Talk 740 KTRH.
Don't forget to listen to Texas Home Improvement every Saturday right here in Austin on News Talk 1370 AM KJCE.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
This day is not going well.
Dial again.
Join us out at the Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo. It kicks off. So good.
We'll work on some on-hold music for this guy.
Call Due West Total Plumbing for all your plumbing needs, whether it's under slab, water heaters, and I forgot the rest. I'll come back to you.
I said he was in his office, not his other office.
You can call. Ooh, that couldn't even get the first word out. You can call. Dang it.